Welcome back to Julia at Home. I'm Julia. I'm a homeschool mom of 4, and on this channel I like to share encouragement and resources and a glimpse into our homeschool. Today's a continuation of my curriculum series. It's a long one this year. In addition to sharing what curriculums I am using with my children, I am doing some deep dives and flip throughs of some of those curriculums so that you can get a better idea if they will work well for your family. This video is focusing on your business math, and this is math we're going to do as a supplement, I guess, to our Math Mammoth. I think it's going to be fun. It really works on business math skills. So the idea is that the child chooses a business. There's 3 options. There's the bookstore, the pet store, and the sports store. My 5th grader chose the pet store and my 3rd grader chose the bookstore, so that's what we'll be doing. When you purchase it, it comes in digital format, so I did print it out. You'll get the student book and a teacher book. So I've printed out the books for each of my students and bound them. Now I'm gonna have them add a cover page that's like specific to their business with their business name and stuff on it, and we'll make that when we first start the curriculum. And then I have a teacher's book as well, and what I did is I printed out, so a lot of the pages in here are the same, or about half. So I just printed those out once, and then there's some pages in the middle where I printed out the ones for the bookstore and then the ones for the pet store, and then we're good to go. And so they're all in one teacher book for me. Because I have these 3 different books and I want to give you a good idea of the curriculum, I'm going to kind of be flipping between the 3 of them. So I'm going to try my best to give you the best view of what this curriculum is as I can. Having spent some time looking through the curriculum and figuring out how it works and how I'm going to use it, I think the best way to show you what it is and how it works is to show you the teacher and student books simultaneously. So that's what I'm going to try to do here. So again, this is for the bookstore, this is the teacher book and the student book. Okay. So here, these are actually going to be cut up, and I have a note, and I have a note here that I will get to later. I'll address later. Let me just put it up here. These are chance cards, and I have one for each child, as well as additional in-store sales cards. I have one for each child, and these will be cut up, so that's why they are not bound in there. So I will figure out where I'm going to keep those. I might like tape an envelope or something to it. Okay. Here we go. The student book just starts, so let me show you the contents in the teacher book. You've got a welcome, getting started, how to use, teaching tips, and then the answers, which I will show you what's going on here when I get to those. So we've got the skills you'll be learning, so addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, decimals, percentages, rounding, check writing, and accounting. I think it's pretty cool. It tells you how to get started. This is a sample, like how to organize this. So one is you could start up the first week and then do a month a week. It's organized by months of 1 full year. And this one goes a little slower, and this is probably what we'll do. We're probably going to be doing about 2 weeks per month. We're going to see how it goes and play it by ear. I'm totally okay with this taking the whole year or most of the year, so that may be what we do. And by year, I mean academic year, though, not calendar year. So I don't think we're going to be spending a month on each one, but I think about 2 weeks sounds right. So you got startup tasks here, like creating the name and the logo, and that's why I'll have them create a cover for their books as well. Order and record startup inventory, calculate selling prices, enter transactions, master ledger. And then there's monthly tasks here. And then there's like lots of teachers' tips. I love this. Here we go. So this is like all the different stuff that you're going to be talking about as you go through it, and this tells you exactly what to do. And then the teacher's book has answers. So let me start. This is for the bookstore. Let me start here. So we've got the startup. And again, remember, we're doing the bookstore one, but there are several options. So it's going to have them create a logo and order inventory. So here is, it's not like every book in the world is available to them. There's a list of books that they can choose from, and they're going to have to figure out how many to get and what that base cost is based on how many they've ordered. And then they're going to need to record how many they have in stock, and this is to an inventory tracker, so in stock and sold, on order, in stock, sold, and on order, and such. Making price tags, so this is going to teach them about markup. They're going to have to calculate that. And so in here, you have the answers for what the price tags would be for the markup here. This is startup, okay, yep. And then they'll have, I guess you could cut these out, but I think, well, no, it's double-sided. So they're just going to be writing the prices on each of these here. How much money, they do start off with $10,000. All right, then we have each month, which is similar. So you have orders for each month. So they're going to be filling the orders and calculating invoices. They're going to adjust their inventory. Oh, this is their order form here. Yeah. They're adjusting their inventory amounts. They're adding additional in-store sales amounts. So it's going to walk them through all of this, like calculating the sales tax. Oh, here we go, adjusting inventory amounts. So yeah, it's going to walk them through this, but again, there's more information in the teacher's book on specifically how to do this. Now there's bills to pay, and they just pay them. They just write the checks right in here, and this has them practice writing checks. They pay sales tax, and then they can do advertising. And so they choose how much to pay for advertising each month. And then it's optional whether they want to make like a flyer or something specific, kind of more creative for their store that month. That's kind of up to you. I'm thinking we might try to do that a couple times, maybe quarterly. And then they're going to order inventory, and they're going to do their ledger. So all very important. Then they're calculating if it's a profit or a loss. So that's January. Each month follows basically the same thing. They do have different orders each month. And it's nice to have these because it is for the stuff that's in the inventory list. Now, one thing you have to decide for yourself is what happens if they order this and you don't have that on hand. Like maybe somebody bought, I don't know exactly what was going here, but this is one copy of Everything You Have by Elizabeth George Spear. What if you've already sold out of one of those things? What do you do? Well, there's a couple options. I am the kind of person who I often go to my local bookstore looking for something specific, and if they don't have it, I ask if they can order it. So I've done that several times with this cute little bookstore nearby, and I'm fine waiting, and they'll call me when it's in, and then I'll come get it. So that's something that somebody might do. Somebody else might just be, oh, I'll look somewhere else, or I'll order it on Amazon. And so you don't really know what they're going to do. So what we decided, and my husband came up with this idea, so I should give him credit, is we're going to roll a dice. So certain numbers will be you just lose the order, and other ones will be a special order, and then they will make sure to order that in their inventory for the next month, and we'll make a note, and then the person will pay for it the next month. So I hope that makes sense. And that's what this little note that I had means. I was making a note to myself. Okay. And then we do the whole thing over again. So that gives you an idea here. And I'm going to come back to this teacher book for a minute. We're in February. So what the teacher book has is it has the answers of how you would, like what each of these should cost, each of these orders. So that was January. So for February here, Little House, Chronicles of Narnia, Lord of the Rings, and then what the calculation should be for each of them. I should mention towards the end when they're calculating things, there's the chance cards and the extra cards. So these are the chance cards. A lot of them are kind of unfortunate things. Some of them aren't. So you've got things that happen like the trash collectors go on strike, so you have to pay extra money to haul your trash, or you have a leaky faucet, or electricity prices go up. But then there's things like a competitor goes out of business and sells his stock at a discount, so you can purchase your supplies at half price this month. Or
I think the post a website and start selling over the web and increase your total monthly sales by 10%. So things like that. You get to choose one of these each month that then impacts that month. And then there's additional in-store sales cards, because you're not going to survive just based on the sales they're giving you here. This is 3 orders here, right? So they're not making you calculate every order is the idea. The idea is that this is, and again, they're the same. It's just one for each child. This is how much additional your store made in sales that month. Now, the teacher's guide specifies that you can choose whether or not to have your kids calculate sales tax out of this. You could say that sales tax has already been taken out, or you can calculate it from this, and I'll probably have them take sales tax out of this as well. I think it's a good practice. So then it kind of just does the same thing each month. You know, you've got the different orders, but other than that, it's pretty much the same here. I'm going to go ahead and go to the end here. Got December orders, doing all the December things. And then you just do a year-end overview of how you did, and if you made a profit or a loss that year. Again, this was the bookstore student kit, and I have all of the things, the answers, I guess, in here for that. And then I went ahead and did the answers for the pet store one that my 5th grader will be using after that. And I did want to show you just a little bit of that. It's mostly, I mean, the format is the same, but I just wanted to show you what kind of inventory and stuff it has here. So it actually does have pets. Now, I'm not sure, it doesn't really account for if you actually have animals in a store, you're obviously going to have to like feed them and give them water and care for them. So it doesn't really account for that. And I'm just gonna leave that as is. We might talk about it, but I'm not gonna like make her do anything extra for that. So there's animals, and then there's like food and different items for those specific animals. And there is a note at one point, like, so sometimes it tells you, in this one more often, but sometimes in the other one, like what it's for. So like somebody was buying a little house book set for their daughter, and here, these are guinea pigs for a classroom and a puppy for daughter's birthday. There's one, I'm not remembering which month it is, in here where he's buying mouse for pet snakes dinner. Here it is in March. And I believe it was the teacher's guide mentioned that their daughter was kind of against selling the mouse for feeding the snake. So you can kind of decide for yourself what you want to do, but the idea was that she didn't make her child sell that mouse. That child could turn away the customer because she didn't want to sell it for that reason. So you can just tell, you know, your child might come up with something like that, and it's just totally up to you what you want to have them do. But this is their business, so they can decide how, you know, how some of these things are. Now, you wouldn't really want them to be discriminating against people, so that might be a whole different conversation, but that's not really what we're talking about in this context. So so this is, like, again, it's the same format, it just has a different order form, right? But they still are paying here and ordering the inventory. Obviously the inventory form's different, but the ledger's the same. And they also, it's the exact same chance and in-store sales cards. So there you go. One other thing I want to show you, and hold on, this is in here, in the teacher book. So after we get through all the answers for all the months, there's some additional things back here. So, well, there's keys for like how to write a check and calculate decimals and multiplying and how to do all these things. And then there's a section for additional practice. So, and these were the same for both books. So I just printed out once. And if we use them, what I'll do is I'll copy this page and give it to my child. And then there's answers here. So we've got practice for adding decimals, practice subtracting decimals, practice multiplying decimals. And this is some of this is stuff, I think my 5th grader has done some work with decimals so far, but my 3rd grader definitely has not. So he'll definitely need some extra help with it. I'm not sure I'll make him do a lot of extra practice, but we'll see how it goes. And then we've got practice changing percentages into decimals, practice calculating percentages, practice calculating sales tax. They're doing the sales tax based on a state with a 6% sales tax, which I think makes sense. I think that's the average. Practice rounding numbers, practice writing checks, and practice writing at cash amounts. So that's a little extra that's in here that I wanted to show you because I do think that's a really helpful addition. I am so excited to use this curriculum. I just love that it's, practical math that shows them how they'd be using math in the real world as a business owner, and it's really skills that everybody should have. Obviously, we'll have to review these skills more as they get older, and my son is on the younger side for this. He's going into 3rd grade and is 8 years old, and so he's going to need some more help and support. But yeah, I'm really excited to do this with them. I just think it's a really fun way to practice and learn math. And I can share more about it as the year goes on. If you liked this video, please hit that thumbs up button below. It does help me out. This is part of a curriculum series, so I have been sharing what curriculum I'm using with my children, as well as some of these closer looks at some of the specific curriculum. So if that's something you are more interested in, you can check out the playlist here if you missed some, and make sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications if you want to see the upcoming videos. I believe this is the final video on my elementary age students, and I'm going to be shifting to my preschool and toddler next and what we're going to be doing with them. I continue to try to do content featuring all the different ages throughout the year. So keep following along, and there will be other elementary age content coming soon. And if you have any specific comments or questions, make sure you put them in that comment box below. Wishing you all the best until the next time we talk. Bye, friends.